This week in Hypixel Skyblock, a few things happened, and in this video I'll be covering most of them. Firstly, we had the second Foraging Alpha, and here's everything they did. Tree capitators have been nerfed from 35 to 25 sweep, no fun allowed. They added sea loomies to the bazaar, but just like the top post says, they should make grinding them faster. Siphon luck was replaced with hunter fortune, which now only buffs your attribute drop chance from hunting. So this is a significant nerf to item conversion, as siphoning is no longer buffed. But in my opinion, it's a pretty valid change. Also, Ananke feathers are no longer stackable, so no more slower duping. Also in the comments, I saw some people recommending that Ananke feathers should be soulbound, but don't do that please. Also, you can now get flex bones from fishing here, and wet books now only drop from the treasure loot table. You can also no longer use summons to damage Galatea mobs. They also fixed respiration resetting when standing inside a pointed dripstone block. Also, sweep is now capped at 35 blocks. Also, Skyblock backend was disrupted, but it was fixed in like half an hour. Also, we now know what the other three islands are gonna be: Taurus, Midnight Forest, and Spruce Forest. Now Derailious and IC covered them in much more detail, so you can check out Cowshed or watch the video linked in the description. Basically, we have Taurus, which has a red savanna vibe, Midnight Forest, which seems to be a purple biome, and the Spruce Forest, that has snow and a castle. Last week in Hypixel Skyblock, a few things happened, and in this video I'll be covering most of them. We saw some actually massive changes on Alpha. Like, they made some changes to the foraging collection. Firstly, you only need 25,000 of each log to unlock all their recipes. And they have moved around a bunch of recipes. Like, the jungle axe has been changed into the spruce axe and has been moved to the spruce collection. The tree capitator now requires jungle log collection 7. They added new armor sets for each NPC in the park, including Charlie's trousers, Kelly's t-shirt, Melody's shoes, and Molkin's hat. They also massively updated the Kuudra loot table. Firstly, they removed the Kraken attribute shard that gives vitality from the loot pool. And now you'll get a fixed number of these shards from each Kuudra run. Also, they've added some new items, like the Tormentor that replaces the Enrager, Hellstone one that I honestly can't see a use case for, but it could be the next big thing. You honestly can't tell with Skyblock. And finally, Ananke feathers that allow you to fill up your RNG meter towards any item. You can also get Ananke feathers by converting god rolls. Also, they had implemented a restriction where it would only work with god rolled items that were obtained before June 6th. But that restriction has been removed. Also, here's every attribute roll that gives Ananke feathers: Mana Pool, Mana Region Aurora, except for the helmet, Magic Find, Veteran, Vitality, Crimson in any combination, Lifeline, Mana Pool, Terror, the Kuudra equipment line with the following attributes: Lifeline and Mana Pool, Lava Shell or Scourge Cloak, Mana Pool, Mana Region, Implosion Belt, Gauntlet of Contagion, yes, Thunder Armor with any combination of Fishing XP, Blazing Fortune, and Magic Find, same with Magma Lord armor, but it considers Lifeline and Mana Pool. And finally, the Thunderbolt necklace with Fishing XP and Blazing Fortune. Also, as you can see, they still have the Wheel of Fate as a Kuudra drop, which I honestly assumed would be removed once this update dropped, but it was changed, and now gives you a higher rarity shard inside a Kuudra loot chest. But Kraken shards are no longer available in the loot table, so I don't know if there are any more drops that you can get.
Meanwhile,
also, Aurora armor has received a pretty substantial buff, and plus 800 overflow intelligence when you use its ability. I'm conflicted. Also, they'll be announcing the Foraging update release date pretty soon, in 3 to 5 business days. Never mind, while I was editing this video, they actually announced the release date. It's gonna release this Monday, and we'll have a maintenance break that will probably take somewhere around 6 hours. Now for some attribute cope. Since players will be losing a lot of vitality, the T4 Inferno Demon Lord's damage has been reduced by 30%. Also, they'll be adding more Slayer specific XP buffs, cause Veteran now caps at 10 combat wisdom. Also, they'll be adding more ways to gain speed for dungeon players. Also, we might have a massive magic find rework, so that players won't have to swap around their gear. But in my opinion, it's better this way, cause it actually requires skill. Except for the people who cheat. Cause you have to risk dying to get better loot, which in my opinion is actually fair. Also, they reduce the number of shards required to max out each attribute. I think you can just... Also, there was actually a really insane XP farming strat that came out when the foraging update was added to alpha. Basically, people were lobby hopping and grinding mobs in the castle to get rampart armor, which comes with attributes, and since it's insanely common, you could get a bunch of maxed attributes pretty quickly, which people were planning to convert when the foraging update dropped, which would give them an insane amount of Skyblock XP along with a bunch of attributes. But that is no longer possible now, as a bunch of mob drops and craftable items can no longer have attributes. They've also disabled attribute fusion, probably to prevent players from exploiting it further. So to the people who grinded Rampart before this, you'll be gaining a ton. Oh, wait, never mind, because they've nerfed it even further, as converting these items will only give you half the attributes compared to Kuudra and fishing items. Also, Kuudra armor is gonna receive a massive update after this. Firstly, you'll be able to change Kuudra armor types. Now, it probably won't be on the fly. Like maybe we'll have a Kuudra armor converter thing. Or maybe I'm just misunderstanding the admins. Also, maxing each Kuudra armor piece will be much easier, as they'll be nerfing the amount of Crimson Essence required to upgrade Infernal Kuudra armor by about 60%. Also, players who already spent the essence will be refunded, but only 50% of the overflow essence. Also, they plan on making the Tormentor more useful for Kuudra, as currently it's kinda useless. It's like a slightly better giant sword, and for how rare it is, I hope the admins add some actually good abilities or stats. Also, Crimson Essence and Magma Fish will have more uses now, and one of the most important things, they might actually implement the creases for Kuudra. Also, the Raider Axe and Daedalus Axe are both swords now. Why? Because programming is difficult. Also, Bonzo Staff is still broken. We had the 6th Skyblock anniversary with some new items, like the 6th anniversary balloon hat and the 6th anniversary barn skin. Here's some fun stuff from my Discord. Anyways, I did a 20 million coin giveaway and only 18 people joined. So let's try to hit 19 next time. So subscribe and join the Discord. You can also post stuff that I'll steal for content. Also, here's some fun stuff from the subreddit. Obviously, that would never happen to me, right? Please sub. This guy made 49 coins. What? It's like choosing roids after your first day at the gym. 99% of gamblers quit because they become homeless. This guy meleeed a dragon. I mean, Donkey also meleeed a dragon without the meh. Now that's some 8K IMAX footage if I've ever seen one. There is no magical power. There is no life. There is no art. Also, sorry about the delayed video. I was actually working on something else, but the update changed everything, so the video became kinda useless. There is no video. Subscribe. If you watched the video, thank you. If you want to watch more videos like this, click the one on the left. If you want to continue watching more content, click the one on the right. If you want to help, thanks. When you remember, may you subscribe and don't forget to leave a comment as I read all comments.